My young friend over there, it is a good opportunity and I'm happy that you are alive and that you are ill and healthy. Welcome to the Incubator Media, and this is Let's Talk About It with King Emmanuel. Last week, we gave instances and background history about the brutality, the killings and maiming that happens by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the arm of Nigerian Police Force, which you have taken the bull by the horn and you've said no more in our country. I commend you, commend your courage, commend your resilience and your persistence. We'll continue our discussion even on that today. And I can tell you that we are almost at the promised land. You will not be tired at this time. Let's consider some other few things, some other few rights about this situation that we find ourselves today. And of course, congratulations to you because you won the first fight. After the first week of protest, we see that the SARS was actually disbanded. I continue again from the editorial of Punch. They said, after another bout of clamorous campaign against endemic police brutality that resurfaced, after the campaign resurfaced, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, announced the disbandment of the sadist outfit. In its place, Adamu said a new policing arrangement will be announced in due course. Before the week-long protest by the youth outside there, in some of our towns and cities that forced the regime to eat the humble pie, the IG Adamu and the President, Major General Muhammad Buhari, retired, have retracted by rolling out new measures to address the scourge. The 10-point SARS reform agenda included banning the unit from routine patrols, checkpoint duties, and searching of cell phones, laptops, and other mobile devices. Despite this, the protests continue unabated, primarily because the public saw the IG's measure as superficial. Public anger raged on even after the dissolution of the dreaded killer squad. We're not going to be fooled by the IG's announcement. The president should either address Nigerians by announcing through an executive order that he is disbanding the terrorist unit in the Nigerian Police Force, or more protests would happen and it will continue to grow until the president takes full responsibility. One of the leaders of the movement, Raphael Adebayo, insisted Buhari has finally responded, saying the disbandment is the first step in the reform agenda and promising to bring errant SARS officers to book. It is truly unfortunate that the Buhari regime allowed SARS provocative excesses to reach a zenith. The purpose of law enforcement in a free society is to promote public safety and uphold the rule of law so that the individual liberty may flourish. But the endemic feature of wanton brutality, corruption, and slaughter had reached a crescendo on Adamu's watch. In the hope that the IG will bring in his officers in line with global best practices, the public had continued to suffer at the cost of life and limb. Yet, the man that Adamu is concerned and stable to, which is the president, looks the other way. Truly, the youth has the right to say enough is enough. Take a look at this list. The list of SARS abuse is endless. Early in October, an online video of SARS atrocities in Ogele in Delta State, Nigeria, went viral, showing the officers shot a man, drove his vehicle away. In Lagos, Joshua Oganekewe and 4 others traveling to Delta State were subjected to callous extortion early this month. Oganekewe, like countless other youth, coughed up 100,000 to buy his freedom. In Rivers State, young men regularly face arrest, torture, and detention. They are forced to pay hefty sum of money to regain their freedom. Unambiguously, SARS had gone beyond its brief of tackling armed robbery, but has transformed to an army of terror against the very citizen it is paid to protect. Amnesty International had documented at least 82 cases of torture, ill-treatment, and extrajudicial execution by SARS since 2006. Amnesty International reported 58 cases of suspects who were tortured while in SARS custody. The other victims killed include Kolade Johnson, 36 years old, who was shot at a viewing center in Lagos; Adiyat Sikiru, 18 years old; Linda Igwetu, an NYSC member; Ademola Moshood, a commercial motorcyclist who refused to part with 200 naira bribe; Anita Apperson, an Abuja-based woman. For SARS officer, it is a crime for youth to carry smartphones, laptop, tech devices, or ride cars. On this pretext, they are subjected to gross human rights violations. In February, SARS officers brutally murdered a Remo Star FC football club in Ogun State, Tiamiyo Kazi, Shagamu Abeokuta Expressway. As a result, it is difficult for public to trust the police and Buhari regime whenever they declare their intention to reform the Nigerian police force. On at least 3 occasions, the incumbent IG and his predecessors announced such hollow reform. In August 2015, the then IG Solomon Arasi ordered SARS be split into 2 units, investigation and operations, following the public outcry over the cruelty of his officials. But it did not work. In December 2017, Ibrahim Idris, who succeeded Arasi, perfunctorily embarked on another reform. This was instigated by persistent violation by SARS officers, which culminated in the SARS movement today. Thus, in August 2018, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo ordered Idris to overhaul SARS. The VP mandated SARS personnel to wear uniform and name tag. Buhari followed this up with his own directive that same year to reform the squad. Yet in January 2019, just as he assumed office, Adamu ordered immediate decentralization of SARS operation. But nothing worked in all this move. Nothing works. Buhari set up an 8-man panel to carry out a total overhaul of SARS in 2019. The panel reportedly received 113 petitions and 22 memoranda from the public. At the end, it recommended dismissals of 37 SARS officials and prosecution of 24. Amnesty International says there is no evidence of implementation of the report. Earlier in 2010, President Goodluck Jonathan had made some cosmetic moves, earmarking $196 million for police reform. Weighty culpabilities lies with Buhari, which is partly why the public thumbs his nose at the vacuous pronouncement. The charade became obvious in January 2018 when Buhari ordered that IG Ibrahim Idris to relocate to Benue State after the dastardly murder of 73 people by Fulani herdsmen or militia in New Year's Day. Idris disobeyed the presidential order. 3 months after, during his visit to Benue, the president lamented pathetically, "I did not know that IG did not stay in the state." To Buhari, that was the end. There was no sanction as Idris continued in office. After this, such a president cannot be trusted to entrench the wrath in the police, to stop the wrath in the police. A 2016 report by the International Police Science Association and the Australian-based Initiative for Economics and Peace rated Nigerian police as the worst in the world. Of the 127 countries assessed, Nigerian police force performed worst on all 4 parameters with a score of 0.255, ranking below Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Uganda, and Pakistan. There are 219 police officers for every 100,000 Nigerians, well below the index median of 300 and the sub-Saharan African region average of 268. The report stated, over half of the officers are illegally deployed to guide VIP against the rules of engagement and common sense. Not surprising though, SARS notoriety had gained global attention. The British government has intervened, speaking the minds of many Nigerians living abroad. Wilfred Ndidi, a Super Eagles player with Leicester City Football Club in England, said they were scared of coming home because of SARS extortionist activities. John Boyega, the British-Nigerian actor of Star Wars, has joined the movement against SARS. Protests have been held in the United States, the United Kingdom, South Africa, and Canada. Redeploying the SARS officers to other units is a dangerous idea. These polluted and compromised officers will end up spreading their cancerous behavior to the other unit. Therefore, the Nigerian police problem goes beyond a rhetorical reform or a brand announcement of banning. It is not just SARS that need to be reformed or banned. The entire Nigerian policing system needs root and branch reform. Nigerian police has never been people's police. The militarization of some police departments in recent decades has been on a full display. Instead of directing the sophisticated arm and ammunition against real criminals, the poorly trained and poorly motivated officers sees the gun as a license to extort, harass, and kill innocent citizens. The way the force is structured and discipline reigns supreme. The hypercentral nature of policing in Nigeria is at the root of the crisis. There is a rapt relationship between the police and the community they serve because of ethnic, cultural, and religious differences. Police is inherently local. There are more than 18,000 local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies in the United States. Fixing police in Nigeria will therefore involve an uncommon political way to localize police duties. In the interim, the National Assembly should immediately commence the review of the relevant laws to make police officers accountable for any violation of human rights. Buhari says that the few bad eggs should not be allowed to tarnish the image and reputation of the force. He is wrong. There are only a few good eggs in the Nigerian police force, as the majority of them have turned out to be rotten. The Inspector General of Police should ensure that discipline is the watchword, punishing those who step out of the line severely, including all SARS officers implicated in all the recent cases. The Deputy Inspector General of Police and Assistant Inspector General of Police and State Commissioners of Police should be made to bear responsibility for any abuse of power by officers in their command. The IG should have a unit to inspect police detention cells and review its operations regularly. The cell should be open to human rights groups. The social media has played a sterling role in revealing the activities of SARS. There should be a new role that will expressly empower citizens to document police activities in the public domain. Where many reformed are often blocked and rarely succeeded, disbanding the entire police force may not be a bad idea if the system becomes unreformable. Some countries such as El Salvador, Ukraine, and Georgia, and city of Bogota, Colombia, Camden, UK, New Jersey, US, disbanded entire police forces, rehiring only officers who passed stringent tests. Police system in Nigeria must be made accountable in all form. Again, I will revert to the contribution from Mr. Lekeada of Lekeada Consulting. He continued, second day, my dear son, when I was young, I used to hear the phrase, Fejero. That was a Lagos slang. They came up with same way your generation came up with Sorosuke and the disguise. Sorosuke, no the disguise. Sorosuke, no the disguise hashtag. It is the picture of a man manually powering a bike, strenuously hopping. Unlike a motorized bike, it is said to run on human blood, hence fejering. As somebody riding bicycle that is using his blood to ride, unlike the motorized bicycle that runs on battery, because Eje is blood in Yoruba. And to me, that's a picture of Nigeria. We are powering hopping. And the reason Nigeria is strenuous effort is because we turn logic on its head. Take this example. When our underinvestment in social services became embarrassingly glaring with the advent of COVID-19, the government parastatal so far they moved from health services like the East is far. The government parastatal so far removed from health services like the East is far from the West, decided to pick up a gullet and build hospital all over the Federation. When you hear such things, you sigh relief deeply, but you know that will never happen. The generation is going to need to create a strategic logic for the nation. To do that, you have to come up with certain pillars. Then you translate those pillars, use them to develop policies. In searching for pillar, I happen upon those 4 words on a coat of high terms: unity and faith, peace and progress. 4 words on a coat of arms: unity and faith, peace and progress. If only we mean those words, unity and faith, peace and progress, we can of course substitute them with the words that fit modern imperatives. I think the word justice should be a pillar. It is so fundamental to Nigeria, and you will see why. But let's even work with these 4. How do we translate them? If you want unity in a diverse, multi-ethnic nation, there must be a sense of fairness and justice. Opportunity and admission policy must reflect fairness and justice. There can not be a bicameral approach to justice. That won't augur well for cohesiveness. If you want young people to have faith in the federation, there must be sense that the country is going. There must be a sense of where the country is going to. Hopelessness and youth cannot coexist in the same sentence. We must ask the right question. How do we create a future for our kids? They are the majority. We must concentrate our energy on creating opportunity for them in technology, culture, finance, agriculture, and real estate. They are very strong in those areas. We need to create programs that make it easy for them to function in those competencies so they can export their services. We have to solve the Nigerian image challenge for them internationally. As per peace, we must create jobs. It is even much better to create job creators. Artificially creating jobs by bloating the civil service only worsen the burden of the state. Bureaucracy and corruption will thrive. Too many hands fulfilling a small numbers of roles create agbero mentality in the civil service. Of course, we must also strengthen our security services, especially the interface agency. The police readily come to mind. If we want progress, we must deploy intellect. Not intellectualism does not really work. We must deploy intellect, deploy intelligence. No strong nation emerges accidentally. It takes time to plan. It takes time to cook. It takes time to grow. Grey matters is deployed. And Nigeria are so brilliant. Nigerians are so brilliant. And they do very well in other areas of life in other countries. What we seem to lack is strategic coordination and political will. And to the young one, don't accept the nonsense Nigerian problems are intractable. There's no problem that is unsolvable. Every problem has solution if we're going to sit down and think properly. We're just wearing a wrong cap, traditional cap, instead of a thinking cap. Okay, before I close this section, I'll pick lastly again from write-up of Dr. Sam at the EMA. He said, "Dear young citizen, it is understandable that you are hearing many voices like the biblical David, but you've been called to be unconventional. Be comfortable with that. Your movement did not start on the street. It started on your phone. Your ability to move from being an invisible force to being a visible force is a miracle. The word became flesh. The greater miracle will be for you to be able to move back and forth between being visible and being invisible. Don't be afraid. You won't whistle out so long you have your phones. No one creates a machine with the ability to generate power and motion without installing an effective brake system. There is real power in your ability to stop and start your process. When it is time, you will test your power to stop and start the visible part of your protest. You will discuss date to go online without stopping the protest and to come back forcefully on the street. I suggest you don't worry about having a defined leaders. It's part of using your unconventional means to solve the whole problem of Nigeria. You are called to redefine leadership. You are all leaders. You must remember this. Your dialogue is on the street. Please stay focused on using your voice. Listen to one another with humility. Many of us are praying really hard for you. Hold the vision of a developed Nigeria in your heart. We care for you. And I said again, please, anywhere you are, please ensure you are in a safe place. Don't resort into violence. Make your point and make it clear. Make it with force, but at the same time, also with peace. Be bothered about fact and figure, not about fighting and fallacies. Be focused. Our promised land is close by. And I see you like the biblical Joshua and Caleb, that you will lead this Nigeria to that promised land. I really love you and care about you, and do sincerely pray that the new Nigeria of our dream come into being, where everybody has his own contribution and we are all respected as a citizen of this Nigeria, and will get what is duly ours without fighting for them at the right time, not at their own time. And election is not too far. Let's get PVC and ensure that we participate both in electing and equally being elected to do. And when you get there, remember where we're coming from. And remember, leadership is about service, and serve your generation, your time, because history will be kindly with you that you've done this at this time. Well, that's a session about hashtag EndSARS and SWAF for this week. I'm convinced I'll see you next week. Till then, said, God bless you, and know that from the Incubator Media, we do love you very much. Bye from now.